Hello, welcome to the channel and thanks for joining me. Today we're taking a very quick look at this Munchman game from Grandstand. It came as part of a consignment a little while ago and I've already done Astro Wars. I've still got Stargate, Firefox and Cue Ball to go. Now this Munchman does actually work, to be honest. There's not a great deal wrong with it. This is more of just a clean and polish, kind of a show and tell. I have previously featured a Munchman on the channel as well, I think with repairs and sanding down the screen and repolishing all of that, but this is just going to be a bit of a crack it open, more for archival records really for this one. So I thought, as it's absolutely chucking it down with rain, you may hear it on the window and beating down on the roof behind me, but I thought as it's a miserable day, I'm just working through these games because it's quite a cheerful thing to do, and I'm just documenting the clean and polish and just have a quick look inside, make sure everything's okay. Thought I'd bring you along for the ride, so to speak. So here we go then. First thing we'll do is just get these screws out from the base and remove the lid. I will say at this juncture that the sticker's in really nice condition. I know the battery contacts are good, and I also know that the DC input jack works fine. I've done all that on a previous unboxing video where I opened up the whole consignment and sort of evaluated each of them all in that video, so do check that one out. Right, so just to show you, the battery contacts actually are okay on this. If they fail, you can make new ones, but it's quite a lot of work for what it is, so I'm glad we don't have to do that. Right, well here's the inside then, and it's not too bad, I've got to be honest. Just needs a wipe. It's yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, you can probably see, you can see like dust that's just gathered from off the screen there, and you can see the contacts are pretty grisly and dirty as well. Something's been spilt down there over the years. It's just pretty grotty. It's not terribly hygienic. Doesn't look very nice. So what I do with all my vintage electronic games is check them over, replace any parts that need it, but even then, to be honest with you, it's always nice just to strip everything down and give it a clean, make it fresh. Even a wipe over the screen, to be honest, gives it extra brightness. The capacitors can start to lose their effectiveness a bit over time, and anything we can do to just keep everything clean helps to keep the display bright. Yeah, but I've just got to say, looking through, everything looks okay. Power transistor looks fine, caps look alright from what I can see. I am just going to put a tiny little bit of a marker on that. We won't see that when it's reassembled, but it will just allow me to remember which way round these go. Pretty grim, hey? So there you go. There's all the little buttons. We've also got on these carbon contacts, so we'll clean all that up as well. We'll re-grease the sliders. You'll see the sliders just here, and these are for your on-off and amateur and pro selector switches, so we'll just give them a bit of a tweak and bring some springiness back to those, get some fresh grease on there. That's all we're going to do today. Always worth removing these because you'll never clean them up properly in situ, and it's amazing how many sort of little details you can see down through the cracks if you don't do it. I will clean the carbon contacts off with a little bit of alcohol, and also clean this circuit board now. I can also see how bright and clean the solder joints are on the DC jack as well. Like I say, I've already tested it, so I know everything's good on that from that point of view, so I'm not overly concerned at this juncture. And just a bit of a dry cloth gently over the VFD display just to get any streaks away, and a quick cotton swab just to pick up any odd dust. Again, it doesn't really make any difference but it's always nice to do a good job and know that everything's been checked over on the inside as much as it has on the outside. You find that when people sell things, especially on eBay, they often say they're working when really they're not. They've just been, you know, they may power up to a degree, but the sound might be intermittent or the power switch is intermittent. So we always make sure everything works properly. So now just refitting the switches. They're back into the housing, and a tiny bit of grease as well now, just on the sliders here. Just helps them to work nice and smoothly. And just bending these pins back a touch as well, just to make sure they go on nicely as well. Okay, good. So next one. That's it. Just wanted to check for fit on that now, and before I clean it up I'll just plug it in and make sure everything works. Well, we know the power works, and I'm just checking the controls. Yep. Fine. Good. Marvellous. Right, let's just give this a bit of a clean then as well. You can probably hear that rain hammering down on the windows now. Right, what we're going to do now is a bit of T-cut, I think. We'll polish this up in a minute. Give it a bit of a buff. Watch out that we don't take those stickers out with us, because they've survived for 40 years. So we don't want to remove the stickers by overzealous polishing. And I think there is, yeah, there's a tiny crack as well in this screen, but I'm not overly concerned about that, to be honest. Nothing we can do about it anyway. It doesn't go all the way through, it doesn't detract from the gameplay or anything like that. So I'm not overly concerned, as I say. If it's really scratched up, what you can do is actually melt the little solder or the heat points across the screen, drop it out, and sand it and polish it back. I have done that in a separate video, but no need for that today. I will, however, use some cutting compound, so you'll see these black marks will disappear. It's okay with things like this because this is what you would call a self-coloured plastic, so it's made from a moulded yellow piece of plastic, so you don't have to worry about cutting through the paint. Obviously, if it's a painted item, you've got to be super careful with what you're doing. Stay away from the stickers. And it is fairly flimsy, this, so don't put too much pressure on. Last thing you want to do is crack the old plastic as well. So I'm just going to go away and sort of polish this just for a couple of minutes, get it all nice and tidy, and then I think I'll treat it all with some vinyl cleaner, and then might even just put a tiny bit of paint actually on the controls, see how I feel. I've also just gone around on the inside here of this edge. Amazing what you find gets caught between the gaps actually in the joints on these old games. So that's all cleaned up, polished that up quite nicely. It's not going to be perfect. We're not going for new old stock finish on this. So just do the same on the bottom as well once I've screwed it back together, and then we'll give it a polish and go from there. Right, I'm going to give this a vinyl polish, and then we'll come back just touching a bit of paint across the top, and we should be ready to try it out for the final time. Alrighty, it's all clean and tidy now, but I just fancy putting a little bit of paint just over the writing. You've got to be super careful with this. Can make things a lot worse very quickly, but we'll give it a go. So here it is then, Munchman by Grandstand. Wasn't really anything wrong with it, to be honest. It just needed a cursory check over, which I did in the original unboxing video, so do check out that consignment when they arrive, because it's pretty cool. I've done Astro Wars. This is obviously Munchman. I've still got Stargate, Firefox and Cue Ball to do, so keep an eye out for those. But you can see it's cleaned up absolutely beautifully, and it's got beautiful gloss and sheen to it now. We've polished some of the haze out of the screen, so that's better. Yeah, stickers were always pretty good, so we've looked after those during the cleaning process. Also cleaned inside all of the switches, so that looks nice and clean and tidy and hygienic now. And also repainted the lettering on the switches, which is never going to be perfect, but it's certainly better than it was. On the other side just there, you can see how clean and tidy that is as well. Look how good that sticker is on the battery door. So yeah, really happy with that overall. I wouldn't call it a save per se, because there wasn't really anything wrong with it. This is more of a quick show and tell and strip down just to show you what's inside of them as much as anything else. But let's just plug it in and we'll kill one of the lights. I don't know if you'll see anything here, but we'll turn it on, give it a go. And there you have it. You'll probably get some flickering, to be honest, because of the refresh rate of the shutter speed and what have you, but I'll just go, there we go, jumps happily one direction, also going right, we'll go up, back, and up again, and down. Yeah, so those controls are lovely. Good stuff. Well, that's another one done. As I say, from the consignment, that's 2 down at the moment and 3 to go. So thanks very much indeed for watching. I'll be back soon. You guys stay safe in the meantime. All the best for now. Bye bye.